Alright children, welcome back to AP Macroeconomics with your favorite teacher, me, Mr. Fritz. Today we're going to talk about closing output gaps using monetary policy. First and foremost, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, so you can see more of me, your favorite teacher. Why not? So this is going to be monetary policy in a limited reserves regime. So where we're changing the money supply through buying bonds or lowering the discount rate, something like that. All right, first things first, we look at what's going on here. Our problem, this is a recession. So our problem is high unemployment. So our unemployment rate is too high, high unemployment. Why am I writing it down? It's taking so long. Our goal is to increase aggregate demand. Whoa, we got to get people to buy things again. If no one's got a job, you get people to start buying stuff again, and then businesses have to hire people back. Hooray, we fixed the recession. What should we do to the money supply? We want to increase the money supply. And when we increase the money supply, the nominal interest rate is going to go down. Just like when it's cookies on the shelf at the store, the more there is, the cheaper it is. So the more money there is, the cheaper it is to borrow. We want our nominal interest rate to fall. In order to do that, the Fed can lower the discount rate. When they lower the discount rate, that means they're going to give loans to commercial banks at a lower interest rate, which will mean commercial banks are more likely to borrow money from the Fed, more likely to lend us money for a cheaper price, and more likely to lend every last dollar they're allowed to, because again, at a lower discount rate, they're not afraid to have to borrow money from the Fed. They're also going to lower the reserve requirement ratio. If we decrease the reserve requirement ratio, that means banks don't have to hold on to as much money that's sitting in people's checking accounts. They can lend out more. That increases the amount of loans going out, so money creation increases, and it makes the money multiplier larger. Each loan has a greater effect on the overall money supply. Finally, the thing that's most likely to happen is open market operations. The Fed is going to buy bonds, big money. And if they buy bonds, big money, oh my God, I don't have space. Then they can increase the money supply. They're going to go up to commercial banks and buy government debt, a piece of paper that says that the government owes you money. They're going to buy it from them now and hand them cash, and now those banks can lend out that cash. The money supply is going to increase. If we increase the money supply and lower the nominal interest rate, our opportunity cost of holding our money in our pocket is now lower. Every dollar we keep in our pocket misses out on lower interest payments it could have earned, so we might as well go spend it. Aggregate demand is going to increase, shift to the right, and now we found ourselves outside of that recession. Our unemployment rate's going down because the real GDP is increasing. We got rid of the cyclical unemployment. We fixed everything. Hooray! No more recession. We're so good. We're proud. Yay! All right, let's look at the other thing. The opposite situation. Give me a minute. I got to race. Now we got to fix an inflationary gap. Our problem, we're in an inflationary period. Our unemployment rate is below the natural rate, so that's not the problem. The problem is high inflation. Prices are too high. And look, the handwriting is so good. All right, our goal then is to decrease aggregate demand. If things cost too much, we need, oops, that's a down, decrease AD. We need to get people to stop buying things. If people stop buying things, then aggregate demand will fall, prices will start to come down. So with the money supply, there's too many dollars chasing too few goods and services, so we need to decrease the money supply. We need to get money out of the banking system and out of the economy, and in order to do that, or if we do that, that'll cause our nominal interest rate to rise. The more expensive it is to borrow money, the less likely we are to borrow money, the less likely we are to buy things. So, discount rate. The Fed would raise the discount rate. If the Federal Reserve charges commercial banks a higher rate to borrow money from the Fed, then those banks are less likely to lend every last dollar that they can to us. And if they do lend money to us, they're going to charge us more. Next, I should write my arrow. Yeah, we raise that. We could also then raise the reserve requirements. If we raise required reserves and tell banks that they have to hold on to a greater percentage of money that's sitting in people's checking accounts, then they're going to lend less, and it makes the money multiplier smaller, which means each loan that does get made has a smaller effect on the overall money supply. Finally, what's most likely to happen here is going to be to sell bonds, small money. The Fed is going to sell bonds. They're going to sell, that says bonds. They're going to sell a piece of paper to the banking system, to commercial banks, that says the government will pay you back later. They sell that piece of paper and in turn take cash out of the banking system. That'll make it cost more to borrow. It'll be less money available, which will make the nominal interest rate higher. That also makes the opportunity cost of keeping money in your pockets greater. Every dollar I keep in my pocket now is missing out on greater and greater interest payments than it could have earned if it was in some sort of interest-bearing asset like a bond or a savings account or a certificate of deposit. So I am now incentivized to save money. And as we save money and spend less, aggregate demand will decrease and shift to the left. Price level comes down, and now those little old ladies on fixed incomes that live on their social security payments and their retirement benefits, they're better off. Hooray, we fixed the economy. We did it. Yay! So that was the real basics about fixing output gaps using monetary policy with limited reserves. Next video, I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing, but with excess reserves. So make sure you look out for that and like and subscribe and watch me teach you stuff. Hooray! Goodbye, children.